as they go into Arrowhead and win 20-10 in a defensive battle and in a battle that saw C.J. Stroud come out and make some big-time plays when it was needed. We'll get to his grade coming up here a little bit later on in the show. But we want to open up this time for you, 713-572-4610. You can call in, get in right now. Tyler will have the phone lines open for you. Your Texans are 8-5. They are currently in the 7th spot in the playoffs, but one game behind Jacksonville for the division in the AFC South. And so he said they're currently the 7th spot as they go past the Colts, and they're in the playoffs as we speak right now with a game against the Cardinals at home coming up. I want to know from you all, because I see some people texting in, and I'm curious from you too, Clint. When you watched that game and how that thing went through, did you feel like the Texans went in there and won that game, or did you feel like the Chiefs lost that game?
Oh no! I feel like the Texans went in there and won that game. I mean, with this defense, the way that they impose their will on folks, that is definitely the Texans going in and winning. But it's hard to watch the Texans when they make super conservative decisions and win with defense on a 4th down stop, win by a single, the single score, all that kind of stuff. That's hard enough to watch. But then when you watch them and it's completely, just unacceptable what's going on the offensive side of the football in the second half. That is definitely tough to stomach, but it's still the Texans imposing their will on folks, and which I think forced a Hall of Fame coach into making a piss poor decision. So I got to roll with the Texans won this thing, and not that the Chiefs lost it.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs definitely made mistakes. There were drops in there. And I think to me the real egregious thing was the Andy Reid decision.
Agreed.
But a lot of the problems they had was forced by the Texans, right?
Yep.
Right, like Mahomes' interceptions. If you take them, like the first one, that was on him. He threw the ball into a window that was not there, and it got tipped. And when you get the ball tipped, as a quarterback, Clint, that ball gets tipped. You get yourself in a situation where you can get picked off when you got all those defenders back there. The second one was just bad. He just underthrew Hollywood Brown and probably had another receiver shorter for a first down in front of it. And then the last one, I'll be honest, he threw it a little bit behind Kelsey. Kelsey had 2 hands on it. He'll tell you should have brought it in, but tipped it up in the air like those. But there are 3 guys around them. They're making plays. They dislodged the ball with Petrie multiple times. I think they were a big cause of why they lost the game. I think there were some situations. I do think in the second half, Andy Reid helped the Texans, who looked like they were asleep offensively and maybe just didn't have answers until I think the Chiefs probably got sucked down from the decisions and sucked down. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sucked down the whole stadium. It was sucked out of. But no, I think the major reason why the Chiefs made mistakes was because of the Houston Texans. All right, let's get to our guy, Dom. Dom is in the building. Go ahead and kick this thing off, Dom. What do you think? You think the Texans took that game, or you think it was more that the Chiefs lost it?
Let's go, boys. The Texans absolutely took that game. We walked into that dump, the Arrowhead, hit them right in the mouth. Dom from Jersey's live on the drive. That defense was swarming, show. It was the goddamn Bulls on parade. 7 was special. He wasn't perfect. He missed some throws, but he made some big plays. 12 was special. Shout out to Woody Marks, man. He was a workhorse. And shout out to Kamar Lasser. Absolute dogs. Believe it or not, there was a coach out there that was worse than Nick Haley. His name is Andy Reid. To go for it on 4th and 1 on your own end of the field was insane. And then on top of it, You avoid him all game, and you're going to throw at the best cornerback in the NFL, Derek Stingley. How dare you insult me like that by going at 24 like that? I hope you learned your lesson last night. The Houston Texans want all the smoke. Dom from Jersey wants all the smoke. Whoever, whenever, bring it, baby. Let's go, Texans.
All right, love the call, Dom. Stop cussing, Dom.
Yeah, if you weren't so good, you'd got hung up on right there.
I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to give you some feeling. 713-572-4610. No, listen. Yep, I think I agree with you. I think at least for that decision. That decision was the worst thing in the game. But Nick Caley's was repeated. It was. I mean, I don't think it ever got fixed. Even on the drive, they scored a touchdown. It took C.J. Stroud throwing on the cape and being a hero. Yeah, man. I mean, you got to. I don't, man. You're right. You got to take one of them away, right? You got to either just flat double team Chris Jones and not allow him to get there, or you got to have Andrews to do something with the blitz.
Yeah.
He was allowing both of it to happen. Every single time. It was.
Well, they do a really nice job with Chris Jones in a sense of, I mean, I watched him whoop Andrews' ass, then he bumped over and whooped Ingram's ass, and then he bumped outside and wanted some of Trent Brown.
So, I mean,
when it comes to, that was 3 consecutive plays, but when it comes to, doubling him, we've talked about this before, it is, I literally was like, thank you, Chris Jones, for going outside. I invite Chris Jones, anybody that wants to go out to the edge and instead of be that force on the inside, I invite you to go outside. You actually do me a favor when you do that. But the point is he makes it really difficult to zero in on him because he moves around so much. So how do you plan on helping inside with the back? Do you plan on helping outside with the tight end? Do you need to help your tackles versus your guard center? There's a lot that goes into that. So that part, the Chris Jones dynamic part of it is, I mean, you could be as prepared as you want to. The way they move Chris Jones around and the caliber player he is, when he won, you ain't stopping him. It don't matter. And I mean, you can dedicate a double team to him every time if he's on the inside.
Not that bad.
I mean, it was. I mean, batting passes. I mean, harassing.
I'm just like he just can't go at that point. He can't go 1-on-1 with Andrews. That can't happen.
I agree with that.
He just left. That can't be 1-on-1 with Andrews.
And then Ingram the next snap.
And then Ed, it was rough. It was. I think Titus may be the only one I don't remember him just destroyed because he sure got Ursery too. He came around the corner on Ursery's ass. All right, 713-572-4610. Get in as the Texans are 8-5 right now in the playoffs. Corey, did you feel like the Texans won that game, took that game, or did you think the Chiefs more lost it?
Texans went in there and won that game.
There you go.
December, right? It's December. Their season's on the line. We're trying to get a wild card spot. We're in freaking Arrowhead Stadium, only game on TV, and we went in there and our defense showed up and they swarmed. Number 7 made some fantastic throws, even though you missed some. That 3-16, that was a big boy throw, dude. CJ stood in the pocket, took the leg, and threw a dart to Higgins. And then our defense, we made Travis Kelce crumble. We made Travis Kelce fumble. And we got the interception, and then we had a lot of hits. When Rice got hit, I didn't even think he was going to get up. Our defense was hitting all night, and I was proud to be a Texan. And I also want to say, Shaw, I didn't forget that you predicted the Chiefs to win 23-13 on Sunday. That was wrong. Go Texans, here we go, Bulls on parade, and we'll be out.
That I was incredibly wrong. I'll be honest. I did not think the Texans were ready to go in there and win that game. Did not think they were. They were certainly ready, especially defensively, to go and make plays. They made plays. And the Chiefs didn't. And I mean, repeatedly. Plays that were there. We talked about all those throws that CJ made rolling out. Higgins caught the ball. Rashee Rice didn't catch the ball. Noah Gray couldn't catch the ball. Kelsey had another drop in there. Didn't catch the ball, right? They had 8 drops in that game. They made plays. They made plays offensively, defensively in a way that the Chiefs didn't. Someone texted in, come on, guys. The Chiefs lost that game. There's no way any of you all thought the Texans were winning that game until Andy Reid went for it. I ain't going to say that. I certainly thought at 10-10 the Chiefs' offense was moving it better than the Texans' offense was. But, I mean, you could see a turnover happening on either side. So I felt like it was even. I would say the Chiefs had momentum, But I'm not going to sit there and say that I thought for sure they were going to. If they ever got up, they ever got a score, right? Like if they were up leading, and then Andy would probably play it conservative. Yeah, then maybe. But no, at 10-10, I didn't think.
Look, our offense was completely overwhelmed. They were going absolutely nowhere. Kansas City had the momentum. Clearly you're watching that game, and if you had to bet the game at 10-10, the way our offense was playing, nobody in their right mind was betting the Texans in that moment. You look at it, our defense was having a hell of a night, obviously, against Pat Mahomes. But if you're in that third quarter, beyond halftime, their defense was overwhelming our offense. Their offense was actually – they weren't having a ton of success, but they weren't overwhelmed by what the Texans were doing. As you mentioned, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter were kept at bay, relatively speaking.
Yeah, they scored. They scored their first 2 drives.
Yeah,
right,
it looked like the scheme, the game plan that Andy had. Moving the pocket and then coupled with Pat's ability to manipulate the pass rush. I mean, they had some decent answers to give him some chances. It was going to be a long day against our defense any way you slice it, but they had they had a decent plan. If I'm like Andy Reid and Pat, I think they let a good chunk of the game go by without getting Rashee Rice involved in the game more than they already had. I thought that was pretty interesting because it was working. The quick stuff, the quick swing screens and stuff they were doing with him was working early on. And so not getting him involved was interesting a little bit more. But really, their plan was –
Teams really like to try to take shots on the Texans.
Yeah, because they're there. You watch the film, they're there.
Even with their lineman issues, they were. That seemed to be a lot of the game plan.
Yep.
Well, and they were there.
The thing is what we're going to watch the film, and I know I already saw the TV copy one time. And this is what opponents do, right? Especially opponents like Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. What they do is they go to the sideline after getting sacked or having to go 3 and out and not converting to 3rd and 14 or something. You go to the sideline and somebody hands you them little printouts, or you look. I guess nowadays you look at your iPad, right?
Yeah.
And you look at your iPad and you go, "Gosh dang, man! If I just had another split second, man! Look at number 1 running down the sideline all by himself, man! Look at Hollywood running across the field all by himself for a 40-yard gain. Gosh dang! If I just had a split more." So you go back out there and you're like, I'm gonna figure out a way to get a split second because I know I got guys open down there. Next thing you know, you're in 3rd and 14 again. That's what gets those kind of guys. Those kind of guys, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. There's just some of the same things we've talked about C.J. Stroud doing, and it just like the desire to go make those big plays because you can and you have for a big chunk of your career takes you out of sorts, and that offense that's a tough way to play offense against this defense.
All right, Southside Al, let's get you on here. Southside Al, go ahead, man. Do you think the Texans took that game or the Chiefs lost it?
Well, this run and what's up, Clint? The Texans won the game. That's what they did. I'm going to come at this with a different angle, Ron. I think Buffalo tried to do the same thing when we played them. When you go back and look at the tape, they went for it on 4th on their side of the field. Unfortunately, they got it. But what I'll say is about this is Andy Reid. I shout out to y'all show, man. Ain't nobody said enough, man. Y'all call the truth, man, and great show, man. I give y'all a tip of my hat because Chris Collinsworth, we had the ball in the 4th quarter run with a minute or something left. He studied was saying the game ain't over and win field goal range. This is what happens in life, Clint. Sometimes people can have so much expectations on you, what they do with Patrick Mahomes. They think still that he was going to be able to pull that out, and he was going down by 10. He wouldn't give up 10 if Wale get the ball at the 5. Chris Collinsworth said he probably haven't took a snap in the offense practice, and the man going score, then he shut up. Man, I'm so sick of these commentators, man. But this is what I say, Ron, and I hang up and listen. What happens is nobody talking about this, Clint. I told you last night. Ron, it really wasn't 20 points. It could have been easily 27 because the first drive, we put 7 on the board. But we had to take it off because the offensive line created a penalty. Bad setup on the line, and they called the 7 back from Schultz. Schultz called a good call. Schultz crossed the middle for 6. But we had a penalty, so they erased that. So what I say is this here, man. It's a lot can be pointed to the game, but you have to realize one thing, Clint. Check this out. Kansas City was down 10-0 after 2 halves of a football game. That's uncharted territory from them. They had 0 at the half, and they caught themselves trying to hustle back and get a win. That's not happening with the Texas 2025 defense. You can't do that. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you can't win like that. So start it from the top. And I hang up and get y'all take.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, listen, man. As I said before, someone texted in, shows making excuses. The Texans only lost the third quarter. I've come out and said I think the better team won the game. They were the better team. I think the only advantage there that the Chiefs had was Spags and Chris Jones, and that almost spun the thing around. But no, the Texans made plays throughout the game in a way that the Chiefs didn't, and they deserved to win the game and should have won the game. And they were the better team. They were the better team. Now, doesn't mean they don't have some stuff they definitely need to work on.
Yep.
And a lot of teams aren't going to give you what the Chiefs gave you, or allow you off the hook on what the Chiefs allowed you off the hook on, to only complete 3 passes in the second half of a game on the road. Right? You got to be able to do better with that.